It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Wednesday, September 25th, and we are in the middle of the week. We are up the hump. We have humped our way through Monday and Tuesday, and we will hump our way through today to roll down the hill on Thursday and Friday to the weekend. I hope everyone's doing well. It's been quite a week. It's been quite an emotional week, right? Like lots going on. Emotional, I don't know about emotional, more so like heavy, right? Lots of big, deep, dark secrets. Secrets, right? Are coming all out. Now, I have a bunch of things I want to chat with you about, things that have kind of gone under the radar, things that other people are still talking about too. We will talk about it all plus more if we can talk about all plus more. I mean, is that even a thing? Here on Daily Dose of Donna, we defy all logic, all realism. We're just living in the land, I don't know, of fantasy land here on Daily Dose of Donna.
Can you imagine? And I feel the magic. Can you imagine? And I feel the magic.
Welcome to the show, everyone. So I had a couple podcast appearances today. I was on Zach Peters' podcast. That's No Filter with Zach Peter this morning, or just a couple hours ago. We talked about Bethany. We talked about, he talked about Erica Jane and the earrings because I don't even go there. I don't even get into the Erica Jane of it all. It's too much for me to like. My brain just it stops. Like my brain can only take in so much, and then it just stops at the Erica and Tom story. And then we also talked about. Yeah, we talked about Bethany. We talked about Diddy. We had a huge Diddy deep dive. We went into conspiracy theory land. And then over here, I'm sorry. Another podcast that was released today was I was on Fixing Famous People with Chris DeRosa and Dominic. And it was, you guys, this was such a fun episode. Kate Casey connected the two of us, the three of us, I should say. And we spoke about, so the way that this show works is that every episode they pick a celebrity that they have to fix, like a famous person that they have to fix. And they give like a pitch of how they should fix their careers. And I chose to talk about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni because I was so heavily invested in that story. So that episode is out right now. It's a really smart, fun episode. Those guys are great. I'm going to have them both on my show at some point soon. Also, a little promotion. Yesterday, I talked about the We Will Dance Again documentary that is out only on Paramount Plus, and it is about October 7th in Israel, the Nova Festival, the music festival that the Israelis were, not only Israelis, it was people from all around the world, all religions were in Israel at this desert music festival, very Coachella vibes, dancing for peace when they were brutally sieged by terrorists, by Hamas. So this documentary came out yesterday, and very few pop culture podcasters speak about this stuff, right? Like very few, because it has become so controversial to speak about anything Israel, which is just awful because if this terrorist attack happened anywhere in the world, it would get crazy amounts of attention, right? If there, it like, think about the terrorist attack at the Ariana Grande concert. Think about the terrorist attack or the shooting that took place at the Las Vegas concert, the country concert. So this needs to get all the attention. Kate Casey has a podcast out today, on her show Reality Life with Kate Casey. She has a podcast out today where she speaks to one of the survivors, and he's also in the documentary. And I just started the episode. I haven't finished it because I've had a busy morning, but I'm going to be listening to it right after this. I am so not only proud of her for doing, what she knows is right, but also grateful for people like her that are just like, this is a survivor story and this is a tragic event and this is what she does. So for me, I am like all about that. Please, please, please go and listen to Kate Casey's episode today and shed some light on this survivor story. Other than that, Is that all the promotions I have today? Guess what I have in hand? I've got my hair helmet. It's coming up in just a bit. We'll talk about iRESTORE. And I'm trying to think. Oh, guys, I'm going to tell you something. Now, I really hope none of my kids' teachers are listening to this episode. Really hope. My 9-year-old has math. Okay. M- I think I'm a smart person when I tell you he brought to me a word problem that was as if he was speaking Japanese. I could not understand this word problem. It was, you have this company A buys this many beans, and company B sells this many beans, and company A donates this many beans to company C. And how many beans did company C, eat? I mean, I could not wrap my head around it. And he was like, Mom, I need to finish this. I said, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Guys, Chat GPT. I'll tell you why it was amazing. ChatGPT walks you through the steps that you need to take to get to the answer. So I still had him do the work. So I said, okay, the first step, and it explains how to solve the problem. It was like, first, you need to add how many beans in total company A and company B have. I say, oh my gosh, I have a tutor, and his name is ChatGPT. I couldn't imagine. I was so in heaven. Beth says my fourth grader's teacher sends home family math sheets so the parents can help. Otherwise, I would be absolutely useless. I If you ever want to feel stupid, do your kids' homework. I was like, wait, what? Company C? I didn't even know Company C existed. It was a really, really interesting, wonderful thing. And ChatGPT, like, how will the kids survive with AI, right? How will they ever survive? Okay. Alicia calls her ChatGPT Charles. Speaking of Charles, tonight is the second episode of the fabulous Golden Bachelorette that so many of you guys started watching because of my recommendation. And Charles, my favorite Charles from Golden Bachelorette, he'll be on the episode tonight. Now, I don't know if he goes home or not tonight, but he is still on the show. I'm telling you, he had a scene in the first episode. If you guys didn't watch it, he had a scene where he's going through all the different like the kitchen. He's opening the fridge, he's doing it was so cute. And I guess it's all over online. Here, let me show you. I just Googled Charles Golden Bachelorette, and lots of people are talking about him. This is so cute. Look at this. On TV Insider, it says Charles Ling emerges as Golden Bachelorette fan favorite. A deep dive. We're deep diving into the breakout star. Oh my gosh, Charles Ling. He's 66 years old. He says, but I look 36. It made Joan chuckle. His appreciation for the Bachelor Mansion was also noticed with his observant commentary. Okay, he has kids. This is Charles is on Instagram, y'all. Charles is on Instagram. Obviously, I'm following him. When I tell you this is the cutest guy ever. Does he have video of him in the mansion? Do you guys see how cute he is? Look, he's like talking about the fire. Look at the fire. Oh my gosh, when he was in the fridge, there was nothing like when he was in the fridge, just like shocked over the meat. The way I love Charles, Charles is in charge. You know what I mean? Tonight will be episode 2, he says. I love you, Charles. I'm commenting right now. I love you, Charles. Okay. That made me happy. I really like Charles Ling. So watch for Charles. We all need more Charles in our lives. He's so cute. Okay. Next, tonight is also going to be the second episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So I am looking forward to that. We will get into Whitney's head. I don't know if we can, but we'll try. We'll try really hard to get into Whitney's head so that we can talk about, all the drama. Whitney is still going out there. She's like really against Meredith this season. She's really against Lisa. Lisa Barlow can do no wrong. We've shown the video of her singing Fortnite, right? She sings the song Fortnite by Taylor Swift at page 6, but she sings Fourth Night. And on the fourth night, I love her. I love Lisa Barlow. You can't make me hate Lisa Barlow, Ramona Singer, Vicky Gunvalson, Mary Cosby. There's got to be more that you can't make me hate, no matter how horrible they can be. Love. Anyway, that's all going to be on TV tonight. I know last night they had an episode of Below Deck Mediterranean. This is the episode where Sandy gets engaged. Uh, I watch it. I watch it because it's on, but I didn't watch it last night. I watch it because it's there, and there wasn't that much else to watch. But nothing is making me say, like, I can't wait to watch Below Deck Med tonight. Like, no. And I think the season's over. So we've wrapped up $1 Million Listing LA. That's a great show. We've wrapped up Below Deck Med, hopefully. We're going to have Below Deck Sailing come soon. We're going to have Real Housewives of New York come soon. We have Salt Lake City on. We have OC on. Potomac is coming soon. It's all happening, you guys. It's all happening. So everyone get ready. All right, we are going to talk about iRESTORE. I love my iRESTORE. iRESTORE is a hair growth device, and it is sponsoring my show, which is always a good time. Now, I did see someone yesterday say something like, "Oh my gosh, spending that money, you could buy it on Amazon for $25." Well, look, you can also buy skincare for $2 versus something that has better ingredients. I personally am big on, if I'm going to be spending money and spending time on any sort of product that is going to actually work, I want it to work. Now, I've spent my money on so many useless TikTok shop products. If you guys are like me, every time I buy something from TikTok shop, I'm like, well, what the hell am I doing? Why? Why am I doing this? It's always bad. I spend so much money on things for my skin and whatever that never work. I ended up just getting a prescription tretinoin from a company called Muesli. If I like it, I haven't tried it yet. If I like it, I'll be sharing it with you. But I am all about spending a little bit more money for things that work. And this, honestly, from everyone that I've spoken to and from everyone, all the results I've seen online, and look at the reviews for yourself, iRESTORE actually does work. So iRESTORE is for any woman or man who is struggling with thinning hair. It is a clinically proven advanced hair growth system. And if you are struggling with thinning hair, which we all are, and shedding hair, you need to consider getting the iRESTORE Elite. This is the most powerful device on the market, packed with 500 lasers and LEDs to provide maximum scalp coverage to help you grow thicker, longer, healthier hair. The FDA cleared iRESTORE Elite harnesses the power of low light level therapy, a clinically proven method to regrow thicker and fuller hair. It's the most non-invasive, pain-free, and drug-free way to bring your hair back to life. The combination of 500 lasers and LEDs ensures that every inch of your scalp receives the light energy needed to stimulate cellular activity, boost blood flow, and reduce inflammation, all crucial elements in reversing hair loss. With the iRESTORE Elite, you can sit back, relax, and binge watch your favorite TV shows. Okay. So you guys can get $625 off if you use code DailyDose30. I'm sorry, Daily Dose. Daily Dose, just one word, Daily Dose. Use code Daily Dose for $625 off at iRESTORE.com. Just remember that they offer a 12-month money-back guarantee. You heard? 12-month. So you can try it risk-free. So you have to use it all the time for 3 months, every single night, 12-minute sessions. And if you do not like it, you will get a full refund. No awkward questions. Just fabulous hair or your money back. So go to iRESTORelaser.com. That's iRESTORelaser.com with promo code Daily Dose. I will tell you something. I got a comment earlier that says you look like Rick Moranis in Spaceballs, and I've never, ever related to anything more. If you don't love Spaceballs and Rick Moranis in Spaceballs, we cannot be friends. There is not a better movie than Spaceballs. I mean, there is probably, but is there a better movie? Really? Is there a better movie? Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss on wire. Baby, my heart's on fire. If you refuse me, honey, you lose me and you'll be left alone. Oh, baby, telephone and tell me I'm your own. Best movie. Now, a lot of you guys are asking about my makeup. I tried something new today. You want to hear about it? Mark said your eyes are popping. Debbie says your makeup is stunning. Well, I am not one to gatekeep. Okay. I just basically took a liquid eyeliner, went all across the hood of my eye from corner to end, and then gave myself a little wing. Cat eye, as they say. On the bottom, I didn't use black eyeliner, which I normally do, and I put white eyeliner in the bottom. That's it. That was my eyes. Okay, let's get into some stories for today. The first story that we have to talk about is oh, this was interesting and I can't believe I didn't see it anywhere else other than one article on page 6, but this I thought was really interesting. Nikki and Artem. So you guys know my journey, right? I'm on a journey watching the Bella twins. Yes, I'm still on season 3. At this point, John Cena is gone. He's out oh, I guess I could take off the Rick Moranis comment. He's out of the picture. John Cena's gone. Nikki Bella is currently single and ready to mingle with Artem. Now, at this point, she had already done Dancing with the Stars with Artem as her partner. And they keep talking about the fact that there was like a lot of rumors when she was filming Dancing with the Stars that there was some strong chemistry with the two of them. We're going to have a through line because we're getting into Dancing with the Stars right after this. That there was strong chemistry, but I didn't watch the seasons that they were on. I didn't watch the reality show when it was about that. I guess they had a reality show before this one that I'm watching, maybe Total Divas. I have no idea. Anyway, I am watching at this point, they're starting to kind of like date, right? Okay. Well, as we know, a month ago on August 29th, Artem was arrested for what they call domestic violence corporal injury to a victim. What does that mean? It means you actually saw evidence of injury, which made it sound awful. Okay. Like I remember Lance, who works on Dancing with the Stars, who knows Artem, when I sent it to him, he was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Because corporal injury does sound as bad as can be. Now, when he went to, so he gets arrested on August 29th, goes to prison or jail. And then gets out, of course, right away. But he does get arrested. Now, there's a 911 call that gets released. And in that 911 call, we find out that it surely was his victim was Nikki because it was an unknown victim at the time. That it was, in fact, Nikki as the victim of this. And their 4-year-old son, Mateo, was home during the time, which just all sounds awful. But apparently on that 911 call, she had thrown shoes at him. So it's been a few weeks. We know that Nikki has filed for divorce. We know that she is wanting physical and total custody of her son. Okay. But then yesterday on page 6, it says his charges are dropped. Now, what would make someone's charges dropped? Apparently, he will not face domestic violence charges after a thorough investigation. So, the Napa County District Attorney's Office announced yesterday that Artem will not be charged after careful evaluation of the evidence presented. It says, while we take every arrest seriously and stand firmly against domestic violence, we have an ethical obligation to only file charges when supported by the evidence. So basically, they say that after a thorough investigation, they never, ever had enough evidence to actually charge him, which makes me so confused because he was arrested for domestic violence with corporal injury, with visible injury. So it says, if she continues, if the available evidence does not rise to this level of proof, then we cannot ethically file charges. At the time, police had witnessed injuries on the victim. But now they're saying there's not enough evidence. Like, Does anyone else find this a little strange? I'm confused how that happens. A lot of people are saying, well, she just probably dropped charges. Is that up to her? Is that her? Can she drop the charges? Or does someone like, isn't it up to police? Like, you injured this person, like, we are charging you. I don't know. This is all very confusing to me. How his charges were dropped. I don't get it, but they are. So he's now innocent. And meanwhile, his career and his reputation is so screwed. Like, no matter what happens, right? Because when you're arrested on domestic violence, and even if you get released and no charges filed against you, you're always going to be known as the guy who was arrested on domestic violence, right? Like, if you Google him, that's what's coming up. And I told you already that, like, some people that knew him thought he was really a wonderful person. So it's very interesting. It's interesting how this all went down. So I hope that he's like, we'll see. I'm still watching the show though. I'm still 5 years behind, but I love it. Okay. So that was an interesting story. Dancing with the Stars. Let's do the through line about Dancing with the Stars. Dancing with the Stars had their second episode last night. Are you guys watching it? Do you care? I still have not watched a full episode. Sorry, Lance. I still have not watched a full episode because it's 2 hours long and I'm just like waiting for it to get a little bit smaller. You know what I mean? It will always be 2 hours, but I'm waiting it to get like a little bit less people. So collectively, fans were very upset to learn that 2 dancers were eliminated last night. I don't believe that they were upset that Anna Delvey was eliminated because I think we'll share about her in a second. I think a lot of fans were upset that Tori Spelling was eliminated. And that's because I guess, apparently, according to them, there were other people on that show that really can't move and aren't big dancers like Reginald VelJohns and Eric Roberts, the older guys. I will say this. A lot of times it's not about dance ability. Yes, of course, the final winner is going to be an amazing dancer. But in terms of getting the votes every week, it's about likability. And so ultimately, at the end, it's the likability factor of Anna Delvey and Tori Spelling. Now, did you guys watch the last couple episodes? Did you feel like Tori Spelling was like doing her best and up to snuff? I think Tori Spelling was very confusing for the audience because she was uncomfortable to watch. I don't know if you agree with me. I'm just going to say what I felt. I felt like on the clips that I saw, she felt uncomfortable to watch. She felt she felt just like kind of hard to watch. I will show you a clip of her dance last night without sound because obviously I don't want a copyright infringement. But if you want to see just a little bit of her dance, and remember, this is not even her interviews and the rehearsals and all the B package that they air before. This is just the dance of Tori Spelling before she got eliminated on this was
Dancing the
night. She was dancing the Roomba. Of course, she was with her pro Pasha. She looks so slim and like, I don't know. Maybe it's just that. Like, it's just like, it doesn't, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything horrible about it, but this is so nice. She performed This Is Me. The song was This Is Me by, if you know, The Greatest Showman, which is like the best movie ever. You can hear a second of the song.
Down. Gonna send the flood, gonna drown the mind.
The best song ever, right? Okay, so she's getting very emotional, as you can see. I'm surprised she got eliminated, to be honest, off this performance. It's not awful. So the reason why people are voted out is because not enough people like them for the show. I mean, that's ultimately what it comes down to. Alona had a great dance. She did a salsa to I've Had the Time of My Life from Dirty Dancing, which is like the best song I think ever in the history of ever. And Dirty Dancing is the best movie of ever. How cute is that? They're just dancing away. Okay, so that was a cute one. But Anna Delvey was ultimately eliminated. This was a little bit of her dance. We can watch it just for a second. If you care. Oh, no, this was her cha-cha from the week before. Where's Oscars? Oscars, Oscars, Oscars. Here we go. She was doing Suddenly I See from The Devil Wears Prada. So basically, they were taking all these Oscar winners and taking the songs from it, which actually explains to me why Lance told me the other day, we have to go and watch. Like, he just texted me randomly on Friday or Saturday, and he's like, "Can we rewatch Greatest Showman?" I was like, okay. Why? But now I know. Look, Anna Delvey to me is absolutely stunning, but she's so unlikable and she's such an awful human being that it makes sense that she got eliminated. I think Dancing with the Stars was trying to do something here. I think they were trying to do something fun and interesting and like wild, but she brought nothing but bad press. A lot of people felt like, why is Anna Delvey here? And just, not saying I know anyone that works on the show, but I heard some bad things about her personality behind the scenes. Now, the takeaway of this was she was eliminated. And when Julianne Hough was asking the Tori Spelling, what did you learn? And Tori Spelling said something like, I just wanted to be a good example for my kids and this and that. And then they went over to Anna Delvey and they were like, what did you take from this experience? And she goes, nothing. I mean, I would like to say nothing to you. Anna Delvey, I was talking on Zach Peters' show this morning about this. And I was like, I'm confused by the Kelly Catrone connection. So if you guys don't know, Kelly Catrone, who was big in she's a publicist. And this morning I was like, is she a stylist? I couldn't remember. I know it had something to do with fashion. She's a fashion publicist. She has her own company. She was big on the hills years ago. She's very like kind of tough. She's like a tough broad. She even had a show. I forget what her show was called, Kelly Catrone, but it was a reality show for a couple seasons. She's very in with Anna Delvey. She is Anna Delvey's publicist, and she basically doubled down on this entire thing by reposting Anna Delvey saying nothing and posting it on her Instagram stories and saying, the publicist, Kelly Catrone, says, I'm praising her for her ability to not give an F about the ABC show. I just don't know if this is the way you want to go. If you're trying to redeem yourself, if you're trying to make money, this is maybe not the route. Let's try to be likable, but I don't think this girl cares. Anyway, I really hope this is the last time that we have to talk about Anna Delvey ever. Like, no interest whatsoever in dealing with these criminals. Speaking of criminals, we'll get into it in just a moment. Let's get into it, right? Let's just talk about these blind items that are happening right now. There are blind items about Ashton and Mila. Yes, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. Now, let's do a little mini deep dive on Ashton and Mila's career. Okay. On Ashton and Mila in general. So, as you guys know, Ashton and Mila met years and years and years ago on the set of the 70s show. She was just under 18. She was a young girl. She was a very young girl. Ashton was older. I want to say Ashton and Mila age. Okay. Mila's my age exactly. No. Oh my God. I thought I was 41. I forgot I was 43. Has that ever happened to you where you literally completely blank out on the fact that you're getting older? So Ashton met when he was 19 and she was 14. He's 5 years older than her. He's 46. She is 41. Okay. In a 2002 interview, Ashton Kutcher openly said he thought it was slightly illegal to make out with Kunis in a scene because of their age difference, but they were dating on the show together. They were dating when she was 14 and he was 19, or maybe she was 15 or 16, but it doesn't matter. She was so young. And I think it's very, very tough. And I don't understand this necessarily, how in the world this worked, that the producers and the studios and the networks were like on board with this, but it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense how this works. there was some weird stuff. Like Mila Kunis once said that Danny Masterson bet Ashton Kutcher $10 to French kiss her on that 70s show set when she was 14 years old. Like, guys, this is bad behavior. Now, the fact that they ended up getting, going through their own relationships, getting older, and then choosing to date and get married and then have kids together is fine. Like, that part is fine. But if you don't think that the way that they met and started hooking up when they were young, even if it was just for the show, if you don't think anything was weird, then like check yourself a little bit. That's weird. And maybe things were different, obviously, in the 2000s, how, or whenever the show was on the 90s. It was different, obviously, but it's weird. And she had parents and stuff. Like, okay. So that is how they met. They obviously stopped it. They went on their own. He was with Demi Moore very famously. And then they ended, and then they got back together, Mila and Ashton, and that's it. They became the hit couple. Mila Kunis was doing all her amazing movies. Ashton Kutcher was doing all of his films and TV shows, etc., but also one of the most top-notch entrepreneurs. He was getting involved in AI early on. He was getting really, really outspoken about child sex trafficking very early on. This was like his world, right? He was all about this stuff. And Ashton, which I was telling Zach earlier, like the thing that's confusing about people like Ashton is now we know too much. But before it was like, this is the perfect man. He's perfect. Yeah, he did punked and put everyone in really, really uncomfortable, weird situations, but it's Ashton. He's so likable. All American, right? Just like he and Dax Shepard. Perfect, good men. So when they got together, they became like hot, America's like superstar hot couple. This was a big deal, right? For them to be together and start dating. But fans, as you guys know, can come and they can go. Okay. So this is something that I think Ashton and Mila have learned, especially in the last couple of years. What really went down, of course, was Danny Masterson. Okay. So they had obviously been in that show with Danny Masterson too. So they were all very close. Ashton and Danny and Wilmer Valderrama, those three were like three peas in a pod, if you're allowed to say three peas in a pod. Topher Grace shockingly never hung out with that crew. But Danny Masterson was a very, very popular Scientologist. And obviously, these three kind of ran the roost when they were partying, when they were rich, when they were famous. And we did so much Danny Masterson deep diving a few months ago when he got charged with 30 years minimum for multiple grape and counts and violent accounts and assaults. But in this time, this is when Ashton and Mila it was released by, court documents that Ashton and Mila were two of the letter writers praying and hoping that Danny Masterson does not get charged for that long because he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Yes, he did all these horrible things, you say, allegedly, but he's a good guy. So that goes down. Now, if you guys remember, right after the world found out what happened, the letters came to light, and then they had such a big public backlash and did the stupidest thing they could possibly do, which was sharing this apology video of the two of them apologizing in the most uncomfortable, angry, not apologetic at all feeling video, where they apologized for being involved and writing the letters. They realized it was wrong and they, apologized, but the entire video was done in such an angry, negative way. If you remember, it was so uncomfortable. I wonder if you can still find it online. Is it possible it's still on Instagram? Oh my God. He still has it on his Instagram. Here, just to remind you guys a little bit about what that video looked like.
Letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson. We support victims.
Do
We
you?
have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us
Look at her
to
face.
write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years so that the judge could take that into full consideration.
And the video goes on. Now I just want you guys to remember, like, Ashton and Mila were just the kings and like of doing fun, lighthearted content. Everything's good here. We're good. There's nothing wrong with us. Like, everything's fine. You know what's interesting is I am not seeing, hold on. I'm not seeing the video. He hid it from his feed, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like he hid the video from his feed. Yeah, he hid the video from his feed, but it's still, if you Google it, it's still there. And before, right before this happened, their content was fun and loving and everything's good and happy and working out and like parenting and LOL. And since that video, gone. Like nothing. Zero, nothing, absolutely nothing. If we've done a deep dive on that video, we've gone through like the body language of it all. She looks fucking pissed in that video. She's like, "Why did you get me involved in this?" When he said a couple months ago, he looks over at her. He goes, "A couple of months ago, Danny Masterson's family," and she's like, she raises her eyebrows like, if it's quite a sociological moment if you rewatch that video and see everything. So they apologize and it comes off awfully, okay? Awfully. And they said crazy things in that letter. Now, meanwhile, right after that happened, they were working with this company called Thorn. Thorn was a company that was all about uh basically let me just get I have to get the words of it. I don't want to mess this up. Thorn was it's an they were doing advocacy for Ashton, the foundation, Digital Defenders of Children. Sorry about that. Wait, you guys. Digital Defenders of Children. It was previously known as DNA Foundation. It's a nonprofit organization that builds technology to defend children from sexual abuse. Founded in 2012, the organization creates products and programs to empower the platforms and people who have the ability to defend children. This is something that Ashton Kutcher got really into, even back in the days when he was with Demi Moore, and then when he was with Mila, he got her also very involved in it. So the two of them were very involved in these kinds of organizations. And right after this, they had to step down from their positions. So according to Time Magazine, this came in the form of a letter penned by Ashton to Thorn's board on September 14th, 2023. This is exactly about a year ago. And this was very hypocritical. We support convicted, rapists, but we're also on the board for Thorn to protect children from this kind of behavior, right? Very hypocritical, very strange. Have we ever heard of that "thou doth protest too much" type of content? In an attempt to calm those down, the people that were very upset about Masterson, they released the video, and this was actually the worst thing that they could have done. Honestly, the video was the problem. So after this, a couple days later, he came under fire again. Remember this, when a video clip from 2003 resurfaced showing him making a problematic comment about Hillary Duff when she was underage. This is a man that hooked up with Mila Kunis when she was underage and now making a problematic talking about Hillary Duff's in Lizzie McGuire, saying, she was 15 at the time. And he was saying, about how basically how hot she was, etc. Then there was an interview with them on Rosie O'Donnell in April 2002 that resurfaced. And basically, in that interview, Kutcher was 24 and Mila Kunis was 19. And they were talking about making out. And he was saying, I'm thinking this is like slightly illegal. And it was her first kiss ever when she was 14. So they were talking about all this. So these are all the things that kind of are starting to come out about Ashton and Mila. And it's bad. And before Mila was with Ashton, she was with Macaulay Culkin. Don't forget that. For an almost decade-long relationship. She was with Macaulay Culkin between 2002 to 2010, and she didn't open up about the split until she was on a Dax Shepard interview, 2018. She said, "I had a horrible breakup. I had a horrible, horrible, horrible breakup. I effed up. I was an a-hole in my 20s, and I'll be the first to admit it." So, the whole thing about being with Ashton and okay. Being with Ashton and getting together seemed like the most amazing person, like public couple ever. And then you realize that like she ends up coming together with a man who has got bad ties. He's got bad ties. He's hanging out with the Danny Mastersons of the world. And then he's talking about Diddy. He and Diddy became friends back in on the Late Late Show with James Corden in 2018. Diddy revealed that Ashton's show Punk'd, which Ashton was the host of, remember he was like the head of from 2003 to 2007, brought them together. He recalled, Diddy said this, "I gave Ashton a call one day and said, I heard you're going to punk me, and I just don't think that's a good idea. If you do that, that will not end well for you, but I think we should work out a deal." Diddy explained that he was fearful of being targeted on Punk'd after watching an episode with Kanye West, adding that it got so dangerous. In 2019, Ashton shared more details of his friendship with the rapper on Hot Ones. And that's the clip that you guys keep seeing where he's eating all these hot wings and he's talking about Diddy's parties. And Sean asks him, tell me more about your friendship. And he says, we became fast friends. We used to just hang out and watch football together. Perfect, right? Ashton went on to reveal that he also played a part in getting Diddy to sign up for the New York City Marathon. He said halfway through the run, he's like, I'm running out of gas right now. There was paparazzi around us all the time. He's like, you got to slow down and make it look like you're not slowing down because I don't want to look like I'm not going to be able to finish this thing. Ashton, just talking about how good their friendship was and et cetera. And then he was asked about his parties, about P. Diddy's parties. And Ashton has a moment where he's like, yeah, I can't share that story. I just went down like a memory that I can't share. So now we know that Diddy is arrested. Now we also know that there's gazillions amounts of videotapes that are showing footage of multiple celebrities, politicians, etc., partying with Diddy, whether they're partying in a very, totally safe party manner, normal partying, or we're seeing stuff that is late night, eventually into these kind of dirtier, illegal experiences that Diddy was, proven to have, many of these, what they call these freak offs. I don't know exactly where Ashton fits in, but I just know it's the company you keep. Ashton and Diddy were very close. Ashton and Masterson were very close. Something is amiss with Ashton and his picker, if you know what I mean. Now, there's all these blind items that are coming out right now that there's a talented celebrity and actress who's married to someone who's also a talent, who has multiple videos coming out, and they've decided to move out of the family home. And people are going with this, right? Daily Mail posted a article over the weekend that basically says Mila Kunis is moving out and she's separating. And then they also had photos of Ashton taking his son to maybe soccer or something, and then photos of Mila taking her daughter to dance class. And I just look at that as just a normal freaking weekend, because if you guys have multiple kids and you have two parents that are available, we all know how important it is to have to divide and conquer. I would never see just a dad taking a kid to soccer and a mom taking a kid to dance and say, whoa, there are problems in that house, because I think the normal couples understand that you can't do it all together. That would be wild. But I don't personally understand how a relationship can survive all of this bad stuff. Ashton Kutcher And I say Ashton more than Mila because I do believe Mila has been in a weird way, like under Ashton's. Maybe this is just like my own feeling, but I feel like under Ashton's control. Not in a controlling way, like he's controlling her. But when you meet someone when you're 14 and they're 19, I do think it kind of sets up the dynamic. You know, he's so successful. He's such a celebrity. He's such an entrepreneur and a multimillionaire, whatever, when they get together and start dating and get married. I think she was just kind of following his lead, right? Following his lead. And I don't know if she would have ever written that Danny Masterson letter without him saying, you got to write the Danny Masterson letter. From my feeling, she did that for Ashton and didn't do it for Danny. Now, I wonder, I mean, I do have mutual friends. I do have friends that go to the same school as them. And from what I've heard, everything is totally normal. But no one knows what's happening behind closed doors. And I hope for their kids' sake that everything's fine. But I also have always just had a bad feeling about Ashton. It's like those people that say that they rescue dogs, but are actual like abusers to animals behind the scenes. Or look at the Ellen DeGenereses of the world. Be kind. Be kind. Tell everyone to be kind every day. Be kind. And is known to be one of the monsters in the entertainment industry. The P. Diddy's of the world who went on Wendy Williams in 2017 and said, I'm sick of giving, kids an idea that all African-American men are convicts or uneducated or unemployed. I want to be a good inspiration to them. And that's why I am, donating to this cause and donating to that cause and the head of this foundation and helping school all these kids. Somehow, some way, there is some sort of disconnect from a lot of people that need to be the savior when they're actually quite possibly the most miserable inside. Now, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if any of that is, Diddy, we know. I don't know about Ashton. I don't know about, we know Ellen DeGeneres is a pretty awful human being from multiple sources. And we know that Diddy is a monster. So these are two people that portrayed themselves as very good, kind, charitable people. And they could be both, right? It's possible that you are the most kind, charitable, lovely, amazing host ever to parties, to events. And then also you've got that side of you. It's like the public facing versus behind closed doors. Nothing will surprise me anymore when it comes to any of this stuff. Now, let's talk about Kim Porter briefly. Kim Porter had this book. Kim Porter was Diddy's mother of 4 of their kids together and his ex. And she and he separated and she died at, I want to say 47 in 2018. Now, I don't know if this is, if I have those numbers exactly correct. There's so much information that are constantly coming out. So I'm trying really hard to like keep it all together. But there was this book that we talked about 2 days ago. And I can't open it up on my computer because it's messing up with the feed. There was a book that was like documented. Kim Porter wrote this book and everyone ran with it, including myself, right? On TikTok, there was this woman who was doing these big accounts of it. And then I started to question it when Amazon took it off their shelves, when a lot of other people were saying, I don't think this is actually legit. I'm not going to quote things that were said in that book. Do I think that some of it was true? Probably. Do I think it was all true? No, I wouldn't say I think that. I think it was very maybe exaggerated, some of the stories in that book. Now, what's sad is that Diddy still has 6 kids, right? One of them being Kim Porter's son, Quincy, who he adopted at a very young age. Then there's also their twins. They have their 2 twins. And that's Jesse. I'm sorry. There's Quincy, who's 33. And then their first kid together was Christian, who's 26, who was very much implicated in a lot of these things. Remember, he was in the house during the raid. And he was with Diddy before he got arrested. And then twins Jesse and Delilah, who are both 17. Okay? 2 girls. So understandably, These children are breaking their silence, and they're saying on Instagram, the statement from the children reads, "We have seen so many hurtful and false rumors circulating about our parents, Kim Porter and Sean Combs' relationship, as well as our mom's tragic passing, that we feel the need to speak out." They say in this post, it says, "There are claims that our mom wrote a book are simply untrue. She did not, and anyone claiming to have a manuscript is misrepresenting themselves. Additionally, please understand that any so-called friend speaking on behalf of our mom or her family is not a friend, nor do they have her best interests at heart. Our lives were shattered when we lost our mother. She was our world, and nothing has been the same since she passed." It continues, "While it has been incredibly difficult to reconcile how she could be taken from us too soon, the cause of her death has long been established. There was no foul play. Grief is a lifelong process, and we ask that everyone respect our request for peace as we continue to cope with her loss every day. We are deeply saddened that the world has made a spectacle of what has been the most tragic event of our lives. Our mother should be remembered for the beautiful, strong, kind, and loving woman she was. Her memory should not be tainted by horrific conspiracy theories." So, for that reason, for the kids' reason, I will not continue to, conspire about how Kim Porter is gone. I will say this. O.J. Simpson's kids, the surviving kids of O.J. and Nicole, also felt the same way. Our mother was not murdered by our father. And we all have our feelings on that. But I personally feel like expecting anyone's kids to come out and say, "Yes, we believe our dad had something to do with our mom dying," whether or not they know or believe or know, or even it's very possible these children were shielded from a lot. Do I think the 33-year-old Quincy was shielded from everything? Probably not. Do I think Christian, the 26-year-old who was in a lot of these videos and stuff, I think he probably saw stuff too. Do I think the 17-year-old girls had any idea? Probably not. But the point is, these 4 people now have no parent at home, right? Their mom has passed and their dad is in prison, most likely for the rest of his life. I can't imagine any other way. I mean, maybe possible. But these poor kids are going through a period in their lives where they probably have to sit and wrestle with this idea of what they saw. We just talked about public facing versus behind the scenes. P. Diddy publicly was probably the best dad ever. Gave them everything they wanted. Money, access, clothing, all the cars and the toys and all the things. And it's very hard to expect that they can see their dad as a monster. Also, it's very possible that they're scared. Not only, right now, this is a trial, coming to trial. Right now, they're going to maintain P. Diddy's innocence no matter what they know. They can't say anything but this. So, because the kids are saying our dad is not involved, does not make me believe shite. That's like saying P. Diddy saying, "I'm innocent." I don't believe any of it because they don't have a choice in what they say right now. Those kids are silenced with whatever they know. There's absolutely no way that those kids in this position right now are feeling confident enough to be honest about anything that they saw if it was negative. For sure, they saw something negative. Can't talk about it. They're being schooled right now by his team and his people to be like, you cannot open your mouth about anything about your dad. Because at this point, it's up in the air, No one has any idea where it's going to go. So that's where I feel when it comes to this. Do I think Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis are going to separate? I think probably eventually is my gut feeling. Is it about the videos and P. Diddy? I don't know. But I think it just adds to the list of many, many other things going on. And we have more coming out. Lori says in the comments, Gloria's firm, Gloria Allred said she is seeking out more victims to come forward. There will be more victims. There is no way that over the course of 20 some years of this kind of power and this kind of access and this kind of, behavior that Diddy stopped at 6 women. You know what I mean? There's no way. What we saw yesterday about this new woman, Talia Graves, and her feelings is just a snippet of what's to come, I believe. I think this is going to be a Harvey Weinstein times 10 in terms of like the Me Too's, right? Mark said, Donna said, shite. Shite. Holy shite. What about yesterday when I said holy shiitake? So I have been spending my time watching Gene Deal. I've watched a lot of Jaguar, right? But Gene Deal is very interesting to me. Gene Deal was Diddy's bodyguard for many, many years. And he spoke about the fact that he's been speaking about this for years. He said he was in the car, or he was with Puff at the time when he called Hot 97 radio station after Wendy Williams was talking badly about him and said, if you don't get this woman off your airwaves by Monday, you will never do any business with anyone from Bad Boy again. Sure enough, Wendy Williams got fired that weekend. Gene Deal said, I had no idea he had that power. The whole night of, Biggie's death, there's a lot of stuff coming out about that. 2 cars. One car was told to run through all the lights, and the other car, that being Biggie's, where P. Diddy was not in, even though they always rode together, was told to stop at the light. Biggie's door didn't open when the gunshots, there's so many things that are coming out. And Gene Deal was told by Diddy that day, if you don't get in my car, so it was 2 cars, and he was told by Diddy, if you don't get in my car, you're never working for Bad Boy again. Went right into Diddy's car. This is a man who is evil. Evil. I believe it. I don't think Gene Deal, the bodyguard, is making it makes no sense why he would be coming up with these crazy stories. Why? And he's been saying this forever. He's not just coming out now that everyone's saying things, right? And the worst part about the Biggie death, I mean, there's so many bad things, but the worst part about that Biggie death is that Diddy had control over Biggie's profits from any of his music for 25 years after he died. And only in 2021, yes, 2021, did Diddy finally give the rights to Biggie's mom. And meanwhile, he's going up on stage. It's kind of hard when you're not around. I know you're in heaven, smiling down, watching us while we pray for you. Every day we pray for you. Remember? Perfect and good and happy and sweet and kind and loving and charitable on the outside. And what's behind the scenes? It's actually scary. Donna says Diddy's son Justin is following in his father's footsteps because he was recently arrested. I don't know the whole story behind it, but sure, because this is the thing. Gene Deal said this. Gene Deal is like my Bible. Gene Deal said this. By the way, 500 of you are watching live. Thank you so much. Have you subscribed? All of you? Have you liked this video right now? 500 of you. So in this moment, Gene Deal said this. Puff wasn't, or Diddy was not born this way. He was made this way because he did what was done to him. And then he taught those under him how to do that too. So what is that? What is done to him? Illegal behavior, coercion, control, whether that's physical, sexual, whether that's financial, whether it's emotional, whether it's manipulation, whether it's abuse, who knows? He was taught how to do it by his predecessors. And then he taught those under him. And that's why I look at Usher. Side eye. I also look at Mary J. Blige with a big side eye. Big. There's so many people that I'm like, never again. Yeah, it's a lot, you guys. It's a lot. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening to my show and subscribing and understanding that I don't have the answers. Obviously, I wasn't there. Like, the only people that have the answers are the people that were there. I do believe it's going to come out, but I am absolutely going to continue to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this. And I guess apparently, if you're here in the live feud, Joe says that there is a newfound feud between Wanda, Lee, and Mark Ward. I'm not okay with this. These are two of my faves. What am I missing in the comments? What am I missing? Wanda says, subscribe, like the video, and you feel all warm and fuzzy inside, unlike Mark. Join as a member. Yes, I will be doing another members only. If you guys think I talk about all this stuff here, just wait until I'm members only. Last week we went deep and hard. Anyway. Oh, okay. Stay safe if you're in Florida. There's a hurricane coming. That's horrible. I hope you guys are going to be okay. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being here and supporting my show. Really, honestly. And thank you, iRESTORE, for subscribing. Make sure to subscribe. Bye.